What's up, dudes and dudes? The Internet. My name's Seth, and we are back in some more Trove. Today we're going to be talking about all the new stuff that ended up getting added with the Snowfest event, including a lot of old things for PC players, but it's new to console players, so I thought it would be something that we would end up talking about. So, water went down the wrong tube, sorry about that. So we've got another video that already talked about the event itself and how you end up getting not only this mount right here, which is a gliding mount, but this dumb little poop ally, which somebody's going to like. I don't really get the joke for it. It's kind of weird that it's even in the game. But today's video, most of all, is going to be focusing on the Snowfest mounts, the ones that you end up actually crafting with the Snowflake items that you end up getting as a drop from the present dungeons and from the giant Christmas tree dungeons. I do want to point out that it doesn't matter what difficulty of the world that you're in is. They're always going to end up dropping 12 snowflakes, near as I can tell. Doesn't seem to matter whether you're in U9 or just novice, if it even spawns a novice, honestly. I don't really know. But, anyways, if we end up going into the Chaos Crafter right here, you can see we ended up getting a couple new costumes. So we got this costume right here for the Candy Barb, which we're rocking right now, which is pretty expensive. 50,000 flux, 1,500 glacial shards, which is pretty pricey, 200 wild cupcake, and 1,000 chestnut. That is brutal. Chestnuts are an item that you can exclusively grow at this time in the season, right? So if we end up going over to the gardening table, I forget what it is actually under. Let me see if I can end up tracking these things down. Okay, so it's right in botanist. So you gotta have a maxed out gardening in order to even plant these down in the first place. Sprouts in 4 hours, only grows during winter. You could capitalize on actually trying to sell these puppies right now if you're maxed out in your gardening and stuff, because, man alive, there's quite a few things that end up actually taking it. But pretty pricey overall for a costume. Then there's going to be this Revenant costume right here, which we'll look at the crafting components, and then I'll show you the costume in a minute, because the video effects on both of these are actually quite impressive. Actually, before we get into that, I should show you the Barb one, then swap over to the Rev. Okay, so we got just a standard spin attack and stuff. Our number one ability, we of course have our class gem ability, but you can see the glow trail behind our character is actually quite unique. And the ultimate is really weird, but kind of funny. It's a killer whale that explodes into a bunch of trove fish that are skeletons. I love it. Like, seriously, that is absolutely hilarious. And then, of course, you end up getting this hood, like the helmet. That's going to be very, very cool for a lot of characters. And then weird weaponized fishing rods, which... okay, strange. And then we get a pretty cool Revenant costume, I must say. Like, I actually really like this one. It's very simple. It's got very nice shading to it. And overall, just kind of makes it feel like a cuddly teddy bear, you know? Like, it's a really good Revenant costume. Just feels very solid to the character. And like you could actually use it all year round, rather than just specifically during the winter, because it's more in theme with permafrost, rather than being in theme with the holidays. So this costume has some amazing video effects. Your normal just attack isn't going to be anything special, but it does, of course, change your shield bash. So that means at least you're going to end up seeing something different if you use your class gem ability, and your number one attack is going to end up being blue and vibrant and beautiful. But more so than any of that is the fact that not only does the costume have a unique wraith that ends up spawning, which looks absolutely awesome, the ultimate is crazy. Like, look at this. Doesn't that just look amazing? Now, of course, it's just kind of a reskin of the current video effects, but I love the snowballs that end up shooting out, and I love the vortex of death that is just absolutely beautiful. That's blue and beautiful mixed together. Like, seriously, it's absolutely awesome. So anyways, as we ended up showing right here, the crafting components are pretty similar to the Candy Barb, outside of the fact that the wild cupcakes are swapped over for somber souls and another 1,000 chestnuts. Like, seriously, I think the devs are scaling all of this for PC players rather than for console players, because this is quite expensive for console players, seeing as it's all new stuff. And then for this week in Chaos Chess, which I'm going to have a separate video that's going to talk about that more specifically, we've got the Bedecked Ice Boat right here, which is actually extremely cheap to craft. Like, seriously, it's quite surprising. Only 10,000 flux for a premium item, 300 chestnut, another 1,500 glacial shard, which shouldn't be too bad if you're farming for the ice dragon, and then just prime red and green blocks. Like, that's pretty much it. So open your chaos chest now, everybody, because if you loot collect this thing down, it's going to end up giving you more chaos cores than it would to do anything else, right? And then that is going to end up being, what was that thing called? Bedecked Ice Boat. So we got this guy right here, if I can ever select him. And it's really, really good for mastery as well, by the way, because it comes with not only the boat itself, but a sail. So if I can ever find this thing, there it is. And the sail's actually really nice too. Like, I really like this mod. It actually looks really, really good. So if we end up, this is actually too small a puddle of water. Sorry about that. Let me go on over to the ocean here so that we can end up actually seeing what this looks like. It's got unique cannonballs as well as far as a boat mount is concerned. So that's really, really neat. But very, very cool. Very in theme with the holidays, with all the ice stuff and the mistletoes and the candy cane and everything. Love the attention to detail and the fact that the cannon itself has presents in it, so it's like it's shooting presents. However, I have no idea what the item or object is that's being shot out of our cannon. It looks like it's just a normal dragon fireball or something, rather than being a present, which is what it should actually be throwing. That would be really cool. And then you can see that the sail, again, you know, this is probably a boat that you're not going to be able to use all year round, unfortunately, but it does still look very, very cool. And I really like the pixel art of the sail itself. Like, that's actually very well done. In fact, it's actually more well done than most items that are in Trove. Like, it's kind of weird that the sail actually looks that good, isn't it? But either way, it's just going to be a standard boat. It's got decent turning, but the boats kind of suck in general, so nobody really bothers with them. And then if we end up hopping on over to the hub, there's going to be a couple other things that you can end up crafting that are kind of exclusive to the Snowfest event, rather than just being exclusive to winter and the chestnuts actually growing and stuff, right? So if we end up hopping over to the hub, there's going to be this little tree right here, which is going to have the Snowfest table. We'll talk about that in a minute, because first I wanted to show you over here, the Wheel of Seasons actually is going to end up having the toboggan right here, which, again, I just want to point out that you're going to have to exclusively farm the chestnuts during this time of the month so that you can end up actually getting these things, right? And that is going to be, what is that? Toboggan. You'd think I would know how to actually spell it, being Canadian. Fairly cheap, because this is an old item. So old items were actually scaled for oldness, but either way, it's a mag rider. It's cool. I don't like how the Revenant follows through it, but hey, whatever. It still is very, very cute. So you can end up setting that up for your mag rails out in the world. But the Snowfest chest itself is going to have a couple new things right here. First of all, there's going to be the Griff 3000. Now, I want to point this out and say that while I can't confirm it 110%, because I haven't heard anything back from the devs, they don't really talk to me, but the Griff 3000, the Darknet gears more specifically, was actually an event item from last year. The event ended up coming around right after Snowfest, so maybe the event is going to come around this year as well. But the devs seem to be pretty obsessed with not repeating events, despite the fact that they're all pretty much repeats. You know, it's not like they're anything crazy or unique. Outside of, like, the one where we went to the darkness area, like the Everdark and stuff like that, I thought those events were really unique and cool, where they ended up adding a new specific world just for the event. But in any case, the Darknet gears were from a special boss enemy. I have a tutorial on that if the event ever comes back. But of course, I'll make an updated tutorial if the event ends up coming back. If it doesn't, though, then this should not be a crafting recipe right here. But devs always leave these old crafting recipes in the game. Meteorite fragments, robotic salvage, Darknet gear, because otherwise the blog that the devs have for this patch specifically talks about how you buy the Griff in the store now. Yeah, so I'm pretty confident that's the only way you can actually get this thing, which it is beautiful. It's a robotic Griffin, so I mean, the Griffin mounts are actually really, really cool. Not to mention, it's just a neon one, and when it flies, it actually has, like, full-on proper jet wings, despite the fact that it does actually rock its wings like a crazy person. But it's still really neat, and is going to end up fitting with a lot of the other, like, you know, the other tech dragon and stuff like that. And then, yeah, there's that right there, little spoiler. All right, fine, I'll show you that one. So the tiny T-Rex is going to be in the deal section of the store, and you're going to be able to get it for absolutely free. I just want to point out as well that console players might not see this yet. Apparently, a lot of these free store mounts that do get added to the game, console players, you are going to be able to get this mount, don't worry. A lot of these mounts usually take like a couple days to a week before they end up actually arriving in the game for some reason. So I just wanted to point that out. But otherwise, it's absolutely beautiful. And there's a little bit of a story or history, as it were, behind this mount right here. First of all, it was made by Skyrider, which also was the person who ended up influencing the idea of the Dino Tamer class. So what ended up happening was Skyrider ended up making a mod for the Lunar Lancer back in the day that made him look like a dino assassin. It looked great. Everybody wanted it as a class. That's how cool it was, where we all thought like an assassin character that actually uses claws on its hands or daggers or something and actually has like some damage to it and coolness to it and is a dinosaur and it's dinosaur. It's awesome. And then people ended up making this idea of having it ride the giant T-Rexes that you actually see in the biomes now, which those weren't actually in the game. Players were just making it up. And then ultimately, we ended up getting a Pokemon trainer with a hat, and who's kind of an idiot. And yeah, the T-Rexes just got added to the biome. They weren't actually rideable, and now we actually have a tiny version of the T-Rexes. I just wanted to point that out. I thought it was a really cool little thing as far as Trove's history is concerned. Now, there's also going to be a floating snowflake right here. This is not a new mount for PC players. I'm trying to type stuff in the collections menu very slowly, by the way, because I keep crashing if I type things too fast. It's really weird. But this is going to end up being a gliding mount, so that's pretty cool. Wait, isn't it? Why did I think it was a gliding mount, dude? Like, seriously, I don't even know why I thought that. That's weird. I haven't used this mount since last year, like, seriously, because it's not new. It's quite old, which again you can tell because of the crafting components being quite cheap. However, the snowflakes are going to be quite expensive. Now, the Sub-Zero snowflakes you exclusively get from the present dungeons and the giant Christmas tree dungeons, okay? So you can go and find those in any part of the world. They're in any biome. As far as I know, I don't know about Forbidden Spires as I'm recording this anyways, but go out there and grind because you're going to need a lot of these. And just use a Neon Ninja Rage speed build or a Lancer speed build or Ice Sage or whatever speed build you have, because honestly, you're going to need a lot of snowflakes because you're also going to need them for this guy right here, and you need quite a few of them. This is going to be the Joyous Dragon Egg. This is pretty much the only way that you can actually get this guy without spending money. I'm pretty sure there is a Trove pack right now. I think I have all the packs, so I can't say whether or not it's actually in the store. But this dragon is quite beautiful. You're going to end up getting the egg to craft Tenon Bomber. So if we end up 10, where is it? 10, okay. I don't know why it's doing all of this. Let's just go over to the mount section itself, and it is going to be in Ancestral. Nope, it's going to be in Legendary. For some weird reason, they didn't bother to actually reorganize all these guys yet. I don't know why, but this dragon right here, very, very beautiful and cool. Got nice video effects, all themed to the holidays and stuff, which does mean that you're probably not going to be able to rock it any other time of the year. But crafting this thing is not, I mean, it's kind of pricey, but not really. The egg itself is what's pricey. Otherwise, Radiant Shards, 1,500. More chestnuts, I guess that's a problem. 30,000 flux, pretty standard stuff, right? So either way, that's a dragon, so that's a lot of mastery right there. Also, Luxian is already gone. He's going to show up, I think, on the 30th or something. And then the only real new mount that has been added to the Sub-Zero Snowflakes is this guy right here. Because otherwise, PC players had all of these other things last year, whatever, right? But otherwise, now we've got the Coco mount, which it's okay. It kind of goes with this hat right here, which is kind of weird. I guess it works with the Revenant, but honestly speaking, I would like to see a Coco mug rather than a giant soup pot that also has a handle on the side. It's also all one color because it was made by the devs. Yeah. But then there's also going to be a couple other special mounts that you can get as rare drops from both the present dungeons and the giant tree dungeons. If we go over into the event section, there's going to end up being bloop, 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 bloop. There we go. There's going to be the plethora of presents right here, which is a worm mount. I'll show you what that looks like in a minute. Well, I guess I'll just show you right here because it's just quite simple. It's not really anything special to it, but that's going to be a very rare drop from dungeon chests from both the presents and the tree dungeons, or maybe it's just the tree dungeons. It was legit only from the tree dungeons last year, so I don't know if they've added these items to the drop rotation of the present dungeons as well. But then we got the colorful gift carousel, which is just a different color variation, but free mastery. And then there's going to be the bouncing bauble, and thankfully all of these are free tradable. Free to trade is what I mean. They're not free. They're not free. Don't get me wrong. Okay? And then this is going to be a bouncing mount. The Snowfest log was originally the item from last year's Snowfest. Luxian, the Flux Dragon, who was just in the hub, ended up selling us that thing, right? So hopefully you ended up getting it. And then if we end up scrolling up a little bit, there's going to end up being a couple store items. As you can see in the style section, there's going to be the Revelling Reindeer, Rudolph Raptor, and the Santa Barb costume. So I'll show you all that in a minute, because otherwise here's the Revelling Reindeer. Very, very old mount, you can tell because of how blocky it is, but at least it's more than just one color, and it's made by the devs. And then there's going to be the Rudolph Raptor right here, which the Raptors used to be a pretty big thing in Trove back in the day. They were kind of the standard mount that you would end up going for, that you could actually get out of the store for qubits, which now we have to, I'm pretty sure, just buy this thing either with credits or just solid money, most likely credits, but I can't tell because I have it already purchased. But it's just a Raptor reskin, and it's kind of holiday themed, right? And then there's going to be a couple other items that I think are going to be dropping from this event. Honestly, I'm just going to admit right here, folks, because it's this time of year, I've been very, very busy with a lot of personal stuff going on. Hopefully I'm going to have a vlog to talk about it to people that actually care. But for those of you that don't, I just want to let you know that as far as Trove is concerned, all of that personal stuff has been invading my time to grind. I haven't been able to grind as much as I would like to actually prepare all this information for all of you. So I can't confirm, but I'm naturally assuming that the Snowfest winter boxes, whatever they're called, I honestly forget, are probably back in rotation as far as drop loot is concerned. Like, you can probably just find them while you're out farming and stuff, or maybe invaders drop them. I'm not sure, but either way, we're gonna act like they're in the game just so I can end up showing you some other mounts that were already in this game years ago. There's gonna be the Snug Snowman is gonna end up being a drop out of the box, and then there's gonna actually be the Festive Face Sleigh. Hopefully I ended up covering everything, except for the fact that I still to show you the Santa Barb. That's right. Almost forgot about that one. So the Santa Barb, again, is an old costume from, like, way back in the day. I don't know whether or not they actually consider the Santa hat to be costume, because I don't think that they actually had this costume category when it was originally added to the game. So maybe it's got to do, maybe it's in event stuff. I'm not exactly sure. There's a Santa hat somewhere, honestly. I don't know what it's called. I'm sorry, folks, because I gotta get this video out to all of you, like, as soon as possible, just because, again, I'm, like, super duper busy. I'm gonna be taking off for a little bit of a trip, not because of a vacation, but just because I gotta do stuff. But either way, no different altar or anything like that, because, again, this costume was added a million years ago, and otherwise, again, there's not really anything new added to the game lately. It's just a whole bunch of old stuff, which is still fine, but hey, thanks so much for watching, though, everybody. Hopefully I covered everything. I'm sure I missed some stuff, and if I did, well, I don't know. You can end up putting it down in the comment section down below. Let me know about it so that I can end up putting a screenshot or something on my community page. Right? Either way, thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, share, favorite, and subscribe for more daily content. That's also going to build up loyalty points to my merch store. Links are in the description for that, where you can pick up this shirt and a bunch of other stuff for the holidays. For the fans that want to go the extra mile, you can donate to me for absolutely free. Check the links in the description about Gawkbox. Sayonara and stay epic, everybody.